Broadcasting live from the Business RadioX studios in Atlanta, Georgia, it's time for High Velocity Radio.
Welcome to the High Velocity Radio Show, where we celebrate top performers producing better results in less time. Stone Payton here with you this afternoon. This is going to be a good one. Please join me in welcoming to the broadcast with my personal recruiter, Mr. Adam Fineberg. How are you, man?
Thank you. I'm great, Stone. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you for having me on the show.
Well, it's a delight to have you on the broadcast. I've got so many questions, Adam. I know we're not going to get to them all, but I think a great place to start would be if you could share with me and our listening audience mission, purpose. What is it that you and your team are really out there trying to do for folks, man?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, to sum it up, we really, I love helping people, and I've always been like that since I was a kid, just helping people in need. And the way that we go about doing that is by essentially helping people find careers, right? So for the vast majority of people, we need to work, we got to make a living. And I've experienced how challenging it can be trying to find a job and really not having anyone in my corner. So I have a few companies now, and most recently I sold one of my companies. But all of my companies are related to helping people with their career, helping them find jobs, and just making the process just a little bit more easier for them to kind of get from where they are now to where they need to be.
So what's the backstory, man? What has your career path been?
Oh man, I don't know if we can fit all of that into this one show. But the short version is I had a great opportunity to live in different countries around the world. So I lived in the Middle East, I lived in Europe, I lived in Asia, and when I came back, I was working in finance and sales. But when I came back to America in 2019, and I was used to making six figures, and I couldn't find a job after 4 or 5 months. I couldn't find a company that would be willing to compensate me what I felt that I was worth. So I actually thought about, I wanted to hire my own personal recruiter. I want someone who can work for me to help me find that next position. But unfortunately, that type of service just wasn't really available back in 2019. So I started a recruiting agency, actually. So instead of getting a job, I started tapping back into my entrepreneurial spirit. And I started a company called Jackson Square Company, where we did recruiting, and we still do recruiting for sales, marketing, healthcare, and legal and finance. But we're kind of generalists for the most part. And then when COVID hit, all of my clients called in the same week and they froze hiring. So naturally, my income had froze. So I decided to, instead of focusing on the businesses, to start helping individuals. So I started a company right around the pandemic in the mid 2020 called Rock My Resume. And that's, of course, a resume company where we help people with their resume. We do, a la carte career services like, career coaching, LinkedIn optimization, resumes, cover letters, and things of that nature. And as I would continue to provide services for individuals, a lot of people would purchase 4 or 5 different services from me. So I thought to myself, now is a perfect opportunity for me to build a company kind of side by side with Rock My Resume that will be more like an all-inclusive service for job seekers, where it covers all the aspects, from the writing of the resumes to the applications to networking to coaching. And that's exactly what I did. So in the beginning of last year, we started offering this service called reverse recruiting. So as you may know, Stone, traditional recruiting is where a recruiter works for a company and they help that company find a candidate. What we do with reverse recruiting is we reverse that process. So instead of working for the company to find candidates, we work for the candidate to try to help them secure as many interviews and offers as possible. So as we had somewhat of a test run with Rock My Resume, we had tremendous results. We had clients who were very happy as we were helping them find jobs. And that's when in October of last year, I started My Personal Recruiter. And you can check us out at mypersonalrecruiter.com. But essentially, that's exactly what we offer. It's an all-inclusive subscription service, and our clients pay on a month-to-month basis. We have different tiers of service that we offer, and we've had some tremendous results so far. So we've helped already hundreds of people this year find employment, and I tell you, Stone, this is extremely fulfilling work, because one day you speak with someone and they're kind of down in the dumps. They don't know what to do next with their career. And then 2 or 3 months later, they're thanking you and they're writing a great review for you because you helped them get to where they needed to be. So that's the short version of kind of how we got to where we are today. But we've had some incredible results, and I have an incredible team behind me. And as you know, you can't do great things by yourself. You have to do them with great people around you. And that's exactly what I have.
So you've clearly had some experience, and it sounds like success getting a business, multiple businesses off the ground. Did you run into, especially early on, any surprises that were like, man, I wasn't expecting this at all?
Oh man, it's almost like it's a cycle. It's almost like every month or 2 months, there's something that says, you know what? I ask myself sometimes, why am I still doing this? But yes, to answer your question, getting a business off the ground, you need grit, and I love following uber successful people like Elon Musk, Mark Cuban. There's so much to learn from people who have done this in the past. And I think one determining factor that you see across all entrepreneurs is they probably didn't succeed on every single project. But like Mark Cuban said, you really only need to be right once. Right. So you have one exit that is a 6-figure or 7-figure exit, and then you can take that money and allocate that into your new project. So I just sold 90% of Rock My Resume, so I'm still a minority shareholder. But it's actually, we just had our 4-year anniversary earlier this month, and it's such an amazing feeling to build something from scratch, and then to watch it turn into its own entity eventually, to the point where you can sell it, and now it's still operating successfully without me having to be there. So, another quote that I love, which I don't want to ruin it. Elon Musk says, being an entrepreneur is like chewing glass and staring into the abyss. Like, no sane person would want to do this, because all of the biggest problems at the company funnel down to the CEO or the founder. And they're the only person who can really resolve those types of problems. So yeah, the biggest advice that I'd give to someone going into starting their first small business is just sticking with it. And there's so many fantastic books that you can read out there that will allow you to do this in a better way. And I always like to look at the recommendations of Warren Buffett and people who are extremely successful. And these individuals are recommending great books. So if you look at some of the books that they're recommending, those are the types of books that I read.
So how does the whole sales and marketing thing work for a firm like yours? How do you get the new business?
Yeah, that's a great question. A big part of what we do is referrals, right? So, of course, we have, Google that we do advertising on. We have social media manager as well. But a big part of what we do is we want to help people. And because it's a subscription service, some people are maybe a little bit leery at the beginning, saying, hey, if I'm paying you guys every month, what's your incentive to help me find a job? And the truth is, our reputation and helping people is our incentive, right? If we can get someone a job in less time than they can get by themselves, and they recommend us to their friends and family, that's a successful relationship. So I think a lot of people that are in business don't prioritize referrals as much as they should. But that is how we've been able to scale our company to a tremendous amount. And we have just actually started the process of raising capital. Not because we're essentially in need of capital, but I want to have more people on kind of the advisory board. And we already have, opportunities to exit as well with this company. So I just started this company in October. And that, I don't want to share too much about the finances, but we've had some incredible results this year, and it hasn't even been 1 year yet. So we have had several offers that I've declined to acquire my company 100%, but I don't want to settle, and I want to hold out until I get the valuation that I want for this company. And meanwhile, I will be, raising funds from different VCs and angel investors as well.
Well, good for you. All right, so
Yeah.
let's dive into the work a little bit. If you're up for it, kind of walk me through. If I elect to join this subscription, what happens?
Yeah, great question. So you get assigned a team of people. Okay, so you have a resume writer, a recruiter, a career coach, and a customer success manager. And these four individuals, they work together for the common goal, which is really helping you secure interviews and prepare for interviews. So, for example, the writer will prepare all of the documents: the resume, cover letter, thank you letter, any document needed for your job search. The resume writer will produce. The recruiter will find and apply for jobs on your behalf. So this is especially good for people who are busy, who just don't have the time to search, or maybe they don't know where to search. But finding a job is kind of a job in itself these days. Aside from the recruiter finding and applying for jobs, they also can submit resumes on different job boards. So they post the resume publicly. And we also have a network of recruiting agencies. So we have over 230 recruiting agencies that we partner with, and we send candidate profiles to them every day. So we're in constant communication with these recruiters. So that's the recruiter. The third person is a career coach. And naturally, this person will help to develop a job search strategy, help implement that strategy, and then, of course, provide coaching and guidance as needed. So this is relating to interviewing, networking, or anything really relating to the job search. And then the fourth, and definitely last but not least person, this is someone who is a customer success manager who ensures that our clients are receiving all of the benefits that they subscribe to. So that ensuring that the resumes are accurate, ensuring that the applications are being submitted on time and in volume, and just ensuring that the client is having a great experience. But of course, our overall objective is helping them secure an offer in a short period of time. So that's the team. Aside from that, we have developed a client portal. So the technology aspect is where we have everything organized in one place. When we're submitting hundreds of applications for our clients, it's easy for things to get lost unless we have an organized way of compiling and organizing all that data. So on this client portal, clients could see all of their applications, the status of each application, the number of applications being submitted. We have the interviews, the offers, so we have a lot of great tools and resources like LinkedIn optimization video series. They also have messaging templates for cold prospecting and live chat for their that they can communicate directly with their recruiter. But Stone, as you could tell, our service is very robust. It's very complex, and there's a lot of moving parts. So our objective is for our clients to have a very seamless approach to the job search, and that we cover all of these different aspects. All we need from them is to complete the onboarding, and from there we hit the ground running and start assisting them with finding a job. So it is a monthly subscription, and they can the subscription tier will determine kind of what benefits that they'll be receiving. But we had some incredible results, and we have only 5-star reviews online. So I'm very happy that we haven't even had a 3-star or even a 4-star review. We're pretty consistent in that sense, but being that we've only been in business for about 10 months, we still got to give it some more time as we continue to build that momentum. But yeah, that's just a quick summary of what we offer. And there's a lot of moving parts. I tried to cover all of it here today, but naturally, as we've built the company, we're constantly making improvements, making things better, and always looking to streamline the process and to take a lot of that heavy lifting away from the client and putting it on our shoulders instead.
Well, it sounds incredibly robust to me, and I'm just thinking as you were talking, I've got a whole team working on my behalf, and I've got technology and systems and experience and expertise right there in my corner. and from more than one person, people with very highly specialized knowledge and expertise in these specific domains.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is such a needed service this day and age. And if you look around and you're actually looking for jobs, on average, you're going to find that there's probably 300 or 400 applicants for each job post.
Wow.
So if you're pulling a name out of a hat, you got less than a 1% chance of getting your name pulled. So that first means that we need an efficient approach. And secondly, you can't just submit 20, 30 resumes anymore expecting a callback. You got to get into 50, 60, even 100 applications or more if you're looking to take your job search seriously.
So I don't know where you would find the time, but I'm going to ask anyway. when you're not building companies, selling companies, helping people find the kind of work that they desire, any other pursuits, hobbies, interests, passions. A lot of our listeners know that I like to hunt, fish, and travel. Anything you do to kind of get away from it for a little bit and recharge and come back?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm a big traveler. I love to travel. I've been to over 40 countries. And I just got back from Japan and South Korea actually about a month ago. Had an incredible time there. And I definitely would encourage anyone to visit Japan, as it is just such an amazing country, from the big city of Tokyo to the smaller towns and Kyoto. Everything was just simply incredible. But traveling is definitely my passion. And I do love to hunt as well, so there's definitely that. But I don't get a chance to go as often. And being down here in Florida, I actually recently moved here back in March, and I was in North Carolina prior to this. I definitely miss hiking. The hiking back in North Carolina, they have some beautiful mountains, and I like to go hiking with my dog, who's about a medium sized dog. He's a Jack Russell Terrier. And I'm concerned that if I let him off the leash and we go hiking somewhere here, that I might not see him again with all the alligators and all the animals around here. So definitely hiking is one of those, but we don't get a chance to do that as often as we'd like to.
All right, before we wrap, let's leave our listeners, if we could, with a couple of actionable pro tips. What should they be reading, thinking about, doing, not doing if they're getting ready for a serious, structured, properly constructed job search? And look, gang, the number one pro tip is reach out and have a conversation with Adam or somebody on his team. But yeah, let's leave them with a couple tips, Adam.
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, I've always been a big advocate of self-awareness. And one of the things that has allowed me to become successful, and a lot of the people that I know who work their way up into C-suite or board positions, is just knowing what they're good at. You know this very well, Stone. You don't have to be great at everything in life. You got to be good at one or a set of things, and just focusing your energy on those things. And then another thing is, if you are going into your job search, making sure that you have the right tools in place. And that doesn't mean just your resume. That also means your mentality and the know-how. There's a tremendous amount of great information out there just for free, right? Like your podcast, for example. There's a tremendous amount of knowledge that one can get from listening to so many episodes. But, even going on YouTube, doing some research on what are the best practices for interviewing, what are the most common interview questions, and how can you answer those? These are so crucial to your job search. So one of the things that we do at My Personal Recruiter is we also offer DISC assessments, and these DISC assessments just allow our clients to know who they are better and know what they're good at. So between those two aspects, when you're looking for a job, just be aware of what you're good at and focusing your energy on those things, and then just making sure that you're prepared. The resume is definitely important, as well. We have a partner company called Rock My Resume, and once again, I still am a minority shareholder of that company. We're CPRW certified, so I can assure you we'll provide you with great quality resume. But truthfully, there's enough information online for most people to go ahead and write their own resume. So make sure that you're prepared, make sure that you have that self-awareness before you take that next step in your career.
I am so glad I asked. that's quite marvelous counsel.
Me too. Absolutely.
All right. So what's the best way for our listeners to tap into your work, connect with you, whatever you feel like is appropriate, but let's give them some coordinates.
Absolutely. So we have 3 websites that I own. So once again, Jackson Square Company, which is a recruiting agency. If you're a company looking to hire people, we can definitely help you find that right candidate. We have Rock My Resume for individuals who want to purchase just one resume or they want to just get coaching. And then we have My Personal Recruiter. This is for individuals who are usually a little bit later in their career, who either don't have the time to search for a job themselves, or they just want to be able to leverage the expertise of people who are professional job seekers. So mypersonalrecruiter.com is a fairly newer project, but we've been able to help hundreds of people in less than a year secure their position. So those are the few coordinates that I would say. You're also welcome to connect with me on LinkedIn it's /Adam Fineberg. Fineberg is spelled Fineberg. And I'm happy to connect with people. I think I'm getting close to the limit of how many people that I can connect with on LinkedIn. But you're welcome to follow me as well on Instagram or Facebook. And you could just type in Adam Fineberg and you'll see my image right there.
Well, Adam, it has been an absolute delight having you on the broadcast today. Thank you for your insight, your perspective. Thank you for your enthusiasm. I mean, it makes me feel recharged and want to go back and grow Business RadioX more to see all that you've done and all that you're going to be doing. But what you're doing for the marketplace and for these individuals is it's such important work, and we sure appreciate you, man.
I appreciate that, man. And I love helping people, and it's really fulfilling work when you get a chance to help someone. And I think you're doing an amazing job with this podcast. So kudos to you and your team for building such an amazing platform.
Thanks, man. All right. Until next time, this is Stone Payton for our guest today, Adam Fineberg, with My Personal Recruiter and everyone here at the Business RadioX family saying we'll see you in the fast lane.